In this example, I'm going to show you how to use the long division model to divide 1,701 divided by 3. Okay. Using our long division model, we first put our dividend on the inside of our standard algorithm for division symbol, and our divisor will go on the outside. So I have 1,701 divided by 3. Okay. I'm going to have my steps over on the right. Does McDonald's sell burgers raw? These steps I'm going to use to help me as I'm doing my division. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and then repeat all over again. Okay. I have my question on my sticky note ready to start. Okay. And then I also have my multiplication chart for my 3's, which is what I'm dividing by. Now, I do not need my multiplication chart, but if you are struggling with your division because you do not know your multiplication tables, you need to create yourself a T-chart. Okay? And if I see that you're struggling with your division and I do not see your T-chart, I'm going to ask you to include your T-chart to every video that you create and to every piece of paper that you upload. Okay? This T-chart is what's going to help you with your division. The steps for your division, I want to see them as part of your work. Okay? So if you're struggling with the steps, you need to have them. If you already have them memorized, you don't need to have them written down. Same thing with your T-chart. Okay? But if I see you struggling with it, I will be asking you to include it. Okay? Now, as we continue through this, okay, we are first going to begin by placing our sticky note over our dividend to reveal one digit at a time. I'm going to divide using one digit at a time in order to make this easy for me. Okay? I'm not trying to divide 1,701 divided by 3 at one time. I'm going to take it one digit at a time. So the first step that we're going to do is the division. How many 3's? So I have how many 3's will make a 1 or pretty close to it without going over. In this case, the 1 is already smaller than the 3. The 1 is already smaller than the 3. So the only answer that can fit into the 1 is a 0. So when I do 3 times 0, 3 times 0 equals 0. Okay? 3 times 0 equals 0. And then I've finished my step for multiplication. I had already done my division, sorry. Okay. Now, my next step is to subtract. I put my answer on the bottom so that I'm ready to subtract. 1 minus 0 is just a 1. Finish my subtraction step. Next step is to bring down my next digit. I have to move my sticky note over in order to reveal my next digit. Now, my next digit in this example is a 7. So I'm going to take that 7 and bring it down next to the 1. Okay? Now, I am going to repeat my process all over again. I am looking at the 17 now. How many 3's will make a 17? How many 3's will make a 17 or pretty close to it without going over? Okay? If I go over to my multiplication chart, I can see in my multiplication chart that 3 is too small, 6 is too small, 9 too small, 12 too small, 15 is small, but 18 is too large or too big. So the right number here would be that 15 because it is small enough and close to it, pretty close to it, okay, without going over. So I am done with my division. My color codes over here are not working very well. But so I got 3 times 5. Notice I have to remember to put the what I'm multiplying by at the top. 3 times 5 goes at the top. My answer, 15, I'm going to place at the bottom so that I am then ready for my next step, which is subtracting. Okay, 17 minus 15 equals 2. And I am done subtracting. My next step is to bring my next digit over. My next digit is going to be revealed once I move my sticky note. Notice my sticky note is also helping me with lining up my place values. Okay, next digit is a 0. So I'm going to bring down that 0 next to the 2 to create a 20. Okay, I am done with bringing down, and I'm going to repeat my process all over again. This time I'm going to be looking at the 20 and saying how many 3's, that's my divisor, how many 3's will make a 20 or pretty close to it without going over. I go back over to my multiplication chart. Well, there's an 18, pretty close to 20. 21, it goes over. So 18 is going to be the number that I'm looking for. So 3 times 6, 3 times 6 is going to equal 18. I place it at the bottom so that I am ready for my next step, which is subtract. 20 minus 18, that is 2. 18, 19, 20. Okay? If you have a hard time with the subtraction, then regroup. Okay? I have to borrow from the 1, from the 2. There we go. Now I have 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay? I'm done with my subtraction step. Next step is to bring down my next digit. My next digit in this division problem is a 1. I'm going to bring it down next to the 2. And now I'm done bringing down. I'm going to repeat my steps all over again. So now I'm going to ask the question of how many 3's will make a 21 or pretty close to it without going over. And as you can see, there is exactly 21. If I do 3 times 7, that's my multiplication at the top, 3 times 7 equals 21. Place it on the bottom so that I am ready to subtract. I'm going to subtract 21 minus 21. That is 0. I'm done with my multiplication. Next step is to bring down the next number. I have nothing else to bring down. There's nothing over here. My remainder is a 0. Okay, so at this point I am done multiplying. I am done dividing. My quotient is going to be 567. So I can then write my answer over here as 567. To check my work, I'm going to use the inverse operation. So my inverse operation of division is multiplication. To check my work, then what I'm going to do is multiply my answer or my quotient, which is 567, and I'm going to multiply that times 3. Okay. Because, let me move my sticky note over out of the way. That's a little out of the way. So if I do 567 times 3, that is going to equal 1,701. Well, let's check that. Okay. I have 7 times 3. That's 3 times 7. 3 times 7 is going to be 21. I'm going to carry my 2. Then I have 6 times 3, or 3 times 6, plus the 2 that I carried. That's 18, 19, 20. And I'm going to carry a 2. Now I'm going to do 3 times 5. 3 times 5, or 5 times 3, plus the 2. Okay, so that's 15 plus 2 is 17. And as you can see, my answer, 1,701, is the same as what I started with. Now that I have checked my answer, I know that I am done. Okay, thank you.